Good afternoon, Tanmay. Can you hear us?
Good afternoon, sir. Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. So you are already in the Indian Revenue Service,
Yes, sir.
24 batch or 25 batch? Okay. And is your training going on right now? You are on leave?
Sir, I'm at NADT Nagpur, and my training is going on.
Going on. Okay. So tell me about the direct and indirect taxes. What are those taxes in India, and what is their contribution to the budget of the government of India?
Sir, direct tax are those taxes where the incidence and impact are on the same person. For example, income tax, corporate tax. If we talk about indirect tax, the incidence and impact happens at different level. For example, GST, custom duty. So in this, we can see that like though the final impact is borne by the consumer, but it is incident on the different segments which come at the value chain.
And what is their contribution to the budget?
Sir, as far as I can recall, direct tax collection is roughly the net direct tax collection is 22.5 lakh crore, and which is roughly 55% of the tax revenue in the budget goes to the direct tax, and 45% is the indirect tax among
From
the tax
GST.
revenue. Huh.
Okay. Now, mathematics was your optional paper.
Yes, sir.
Can you name four mathematicians well known from India?
Yes, sir. The four mathematicians that are coming to my mind would be: first one is Aryabhatta, second one is Brahmagupta, third one is Vasisth Narayan, and fourth one is Ramanujan.
And what was the name of the book written by Aryabhatta?
Sir, I'm unable to recall right now.
Okay. And have you heard a book called Lilavati?
Yes, sir. Sir, it was written by Bhaskara too, and it was related with mathematics equations.
And why did he name it Lilavati?
Um, Sir, probably because his daughter name was Lilavati. Uh,
Yes, yes, that is true. Now, you have been in ONGC for a while.
yes, sir.
Now, tell me what is the difference from in the crude which is available from Venezuela and one which is coming from the Gulf states?
Sir, the major difference between the crude of Venezuela and the Gulf would be API, that is the sulfur content. So Venezuela crude is a very heavy crude, having an API of roughly 8 to 12. But when we talk about Gulf crude, it is relatively sweeter. So there is less sulfur content. The API is around 20 to 30. So this is the major difference, and because of this difference, the refineries are different. The downstream became different because normally the refinery which operates on Venezuela crude oil, they are having more sulfur removing units compared to the ones like which are importing crude from Gulf region.
What is the reported reserve of crude in Venezuela?
Sir, as far as I can recall, it is roughly 303 billion barrels, as
300,
on 3 billion barrels.
300 billion barrels.
Yes, sir.
And What was our import from Venezuela in the last few years?
Sir, if we see the last few years, we are importing just 1 to 1.5% from Venezuela, not a very great amount. This used to be 12 to 13% a decade back, but post the sanctions, we have reduced the number. And currently, like just before this incident, we are only having 1 to 1.5% crude from Venezuela.
Now, the Trump has imposed 25% supplementary tariff on India.
Yes, sir.
What is your view on this? Do you think it is correct approach? This is incorrect approach? What are your views?
Sir, this was done as a deterrence that India should not purchase oil from Russia. And I think from an Indian perspective, it had been uh, a very wrong thing in part of USA because India takes decision on the basis of national interest. In fact, USA also imports a bit of Russian crude oil. So restricting India is a faulty thing, which had been pointed by our external affairs minister also. Um, and like despite all the sanctions, we continued purchasing Russian crude oil. Roughly 35% of our total import comes from the Russian crude oil. So this shows that uh, like the other 25% is affecting our export, and it has also affected it has also created an uncertainty because of which we can see the FPI money coming out of the Indian market. But despite that, we have continued the relationship with China, with Russia, and that I think with time there would be a better deal between India and USA. So a common ground could be achieved.
Can you tell me something about the history of Patna?
Um, yes, sir. Uh, Patna's history is very much related with India's history because Patna was formerly known as Patliputra and was the zenith of the Magad Empire, the Mahajanpad. Then it was also the seat of the Mauryan Empire, followed by Gupta Empire. Patna is known by different names at different stages. So Patliputra was one name, but apart from that, we have Kusampura, Puspapura. In the Mughal time, Patna was known as Azimabad. So and apart from that, Patna has been the birthplace of two different religions, the Buddhism and Jainism, and is also connected with Sikhism, Guru Gobind Singh birthplace. Uh, so,
Okay, thank you so much, Tanmay.
thank you, sir.
Pravinji, over to you.
Welcome, Tanmay.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon. Tanmay, any reason for having a single barrel name? No, nothing after, no prefix, no suffix.
Sir, to be honest, it was a decision of my father not to have like caste name directly. So he was of the mindset that having a caste name gives you a caste identity. So why not have a single name and have your own identity?
No,
So
no, I agree with that. So my name also has Kumar. You can't find my caste from that. That is
yes,
very
sir.
common in
Yes, sir.
Bihar. But normally they use some second name, either Kumar or some two names kind of thing.
Yes,
Praveen,
sir.
Arvind kind of thing. So it was not thought of that.
So, sir, rationally, it should be a two name because a lot of problem come because of single name in the flight bookings, from getting a passport to every other thing. But my father was having the opinion of a single name. I think
What do you do when you have to first name and last name both have to be answered mandatorily in a form, online form?
yes, sir. That's a problem, and that's why I use the name Tanmay.
Tanmay,
And
Tanmay. Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Now your father, I saw, from your application form is in agriculture,
yes, sir.
and the income given is only 60,000 rupees annual income as per your
Yes,
this.
sir.
So why didn't you opt for EWS?
Sir, I was satisfying all the criterias of EWS apart from the fact that I was earning also, and because EWS counts my income also, and my income was greater than 8 lakh, that's
Mm.
why I was not eligible for EWS.
So do you think this EWS, bringing in EWS for the forward cast is the right step or retrograde step?
Sir, I believe in order to have a maximum welfare in the society, we need to find what kind of difference was there, and there was a very good number of people which were who were economic backward, and with the EWS there was a initiative to bridge this gap, and in my personal opinion, it was a right thing. The criterias might be questioned of that how much income should be considered or not, but in the intent and the purpose, it's a very good thing.
Don't they have the category also, BC, SC, ST?
uh, Sorry sir, I was not able to hear your
Or
question.
shouldn't there have been a reservation in the EWS category also, BC, SC, ST, instead of putting it all for the unreserved the forward casts?
Sir, I think there was a detailed discussion on this aspect, considering every possible thing. So, in my personal opinion, I believe that that would have defeated the purpose if further subcategorization of that 10% would have been there. Eventually, in my personal opinion, uh, every reservation should be followed with subcategorization, and so that there should be a targeted like targeted impact of those. So in this also we could have a further subcategorization on the basis of income, like someone uh, below 2 lakhs can be given a much more weighted priority compared
Okay.
to those
So you
having.
think in the OBC and SC, ST also there should be a subcategorization? First, the EWS for SC, there should be a component of that.
Sir, I would say it would be administratively a difficult thing to implement, but definitely um, in the idea, it's a very good thing, because I personally feel that we need to have a much more consistent data about this. But in the spirit of providing the maximum welfare, subcategorization would ensure that there should be a targeted benefit and impact of the same. Because as far as I can recall, there is a committee, Justice Rohini Commission Committee, which provided a report that 97% of the benefits have been taken up by only 25% of the community in OBC. So this shows that there is a concentrated benefit of all these reservation.
This subcategorization of BC,
Yes.
OBC, how does it reflect politically in your state, Bihar? What is the political ramifications of this subcategorization in Bihar?
Uh, Sir, I would say to an extent, it would create a kind of a resentment from the public, because a lot of uh,
No, already
i-
already something is happening, subcategorization. What is the political implications of that?
sir, sir, in my personal opinion, I've seen that in Bihar we have like extremely backward class among the backward class. So this has led to a much more targeted initiative, and that's why we can see that from every state recruitment, from teacher recruitment to the state civil service recruitment, there has been a positive acceptance of the same. So I think if it would have been a much more categorization of caste, so it may affect some electoral mandate, but in terms of providing the equity, it would be a good step.
May affect electoral why are you using the word may? Any reason for that?
Sir, I'm using that word because I haven't had the total idea of the how the politics
Okay, so you're
work.
from
So,
Bihar, so this politically EBC is very
yes,
is
sir.
supposed to be the backbone of the present CM support base. even though
Yes,
his
sir.
own caste is a very small population. So please go through that also, because as how is the reaction to the Yadav dominance among OBCs? So
Yes, sir.
that is also part. You are from IIT Kharagpur.
Yes, sir.
Why were the IITs formed by in the first 2 decades of, what are the reasons for setting up IITs? The first 2 decades of Indian freedom and after India achieved freedom.
Sir, as far as I can recall, it was Sarkar committee which was formed in order to come up with IITs, and the idea was to come up with institutes which are in line with foreign institutes like MIT. So that's why there was a resemblance of name, and the focus was to shift towards the agricultural mindset, towards the industrial mindset, also the one having scientific advantage, scientific discipline in line with the foreign universities of MIT.
So has this experiment of IITs been successful as far as domestically in India is concerned? I'm not talking about creating from the Institute Sundar Pichai and etc. I'm not talking
Mm.
about that, but whether domestically there has been advantage of having IITs.
So to a certain extent, it has been a very fruitful, but with time, there has been focus much on producing students who are capable of good jobs rather than providing and matching status similar to the foreign universities. Because if we see the foreign universities, the quality of research is much higher. The quality of research labs, the papers are much better compared to IITs, and that's why we can see a lot of innovation there. But in IITs in general have been very fruitful in providing students with good analytical skills, and that's why we can see rise of startup sectors, and a lot of startup founders are coming from IITs. So though it has met purpose to a certain extent, but it has made like good contribution in the India's economy.
So you play both hockey and cricket.
Sir, I used to play both.
You used to
Yes,
play,
sir.
yeah,
Okay.
of course, of course. Now you
Yes.
won't be getting time to play. But hockey earlier was the premium game of the country, national game.
Yes.
So cricket now is supposed to be the dominant national game, even though we don't have not declared anyone as national game.
Yes,
How
sir.
did this switch from hockey to cricket occur, and why did it occur?
So the transition happened because of two front. So the first front was from the hockey side. So post the 1975 World Cup, they before that India has already won 8 gold Olympic medals, and Indian hockey was on rise. But post 1976 there was introduction of turf, and with the introduction of turf compared to grasses, the
AstroTurf.
astro,
Use the
astro,
correct use word,
sorry.
AstroTurf. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Sorry,
Uh.
sir, for that. AstroTurf, the game became quite fast-paced. The requirement changed from more focus on dribbling. There was more focus on speed and hard hitting. So India was not able to match up because there was not good enough infrastructure in India. And there was another reason that cricket witnessed a good thing, that we won the 1983 World Cup, and suddenly the wave which used to support hockey, the a good amount of wave shifted towards the cricket.
This is a classic proof of success breeding success. As I said,
Yes, sir.
success in cricket breeds success, and failure in hockey, especially the 82 Asian Games,
Yes,
led
sir.
to hockey falling behind. Thank
Yes.
you, Tanmay. Mr.
Thank you, sir.
Venkatesh.
Yeah, good evening, Tanmay.
Good evening, sir.
Yes, from chemical engineer
Yes, sir.
and started your career in your core. You
Yes,
move
sir.
towards bureaucracy. So, why this transformation, and what is your ultimate goal?
Sir, when I was in college, my idea was to stick with the core chemical discipline, and that's why post my college, I appeared for GATE exam and went into the core chemical domain. Sir, after working for a while, I realized that I kind of having a saturation in terms of role, and the kind of ambit in the technical domain is a bit limited from just a BTech degree. So I started exploring through what ways I can contribute more. And through civil service, I was having that opportunity to work in multiple domain and to have more people to people connect. So this was kind of incentive for me that despite being in job, I was putting effort to be in this service. As far as my ultimate goal would be, I think I'm a kind of a person who do not have a very long term goal. I make short term goals. I try to execute it in the best way possible, and my ultimate goal is to improve day by day. So I would say that only.
So, okay, see, yeah, small hypothetical question to you.
Yes,
See,
sir.
if you have been appointed as a district magistrate, okay, in India,
Yes,
any
sir.
of the district in India, okay, what thing you would like to change immediately?
Sir, a lot of factor would depend on the district I am getting selected, because every district is having
Your
own thing.
native district
But
itself. You take your native district at least.
But one thing that would be common for all the district would be technology integration. I personally felt that technology integration helps in bridging the gap between the citizen and the government. I went to the village visit in Annamaya district of Andhra Pradesh for 7 days, and I have realized that the village there was having quite a good connect from the citizen to the government because of the different apps that we were having. This is quite missing in my district or area, which I originally belong. So, in that context, I personally feel that technology integration would be one thing.
Okay, then do you watch movies?
Yes, sir.
See, any movie recently you watched and the takeaway from the movie, can you just brief?
Sir, so in recent time, I have watched Lapata Ladies also, Dhurandhar also. So. So Dhurandhar, there are not many takeaways. I watched because of the entertainment purpose. But Lapata Ladies was a beautiful movie, and that depicted quite of instant of rural India. That how there was innocence, but there was a problem of the parda system also, which created a lot of chaos. So that was the storyline of there.
Okay. See, when sir was talking about your surname and all, you
Yes, sir.
simply said that you don't want to reveal your caste identity, and that is one reason where. But when he was asking about EWS reservation, you said that based on your income only, you are not able to avail that reservation. Do you think it is a
Mm.
contrast? You would have answered that. So I don't want caste identity or any benefit out of it. So I was not, I was not availing it. So I felt there is a contrast in your viewpoint itself.
Sir, I believe that would be the two aspect, the emotional aspect and the rational aspect. So I was trying to give my answer in a rational aspect that had I been in that situation, I could have qualified for EWS. But the emotional aspect was definitely that in order to going by my name, upholding the spirit of my name, I should not have applied for the EWS even if I would have qualified that criteria also.
That's it. That's it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Tanmay. Just for sake of asking only ask. Anyhow, no problem. All the
Thank you,
best.
sir.
So, Tanmay, how did you feel about your MOOC?
Um, Sir, it was good. This time I was not I haven't appeared for more mocks, so I'm not very sure of the content. Because I'm expecting a lot of question maybe from tax domain or maybe from current affairs domain. So at times I feel that I have to work on that. But if I have to just see this interview, I would say apart from that caste thing, which I'm not very sure how I handled that. I think it was good.
Okay. How much did you score when you were selected for IRS?
So last time I scored 176.
176. So you have to score more than that now.
Yes, sir.
You see, I can see that you have the knowledge, but
Yes.
you are not able to structure the answer properly. Like I give you an
Okay.
example. I asked
Mm.
you that supplementary tariff of 25% has been levied on Indian imports by Trump administration. What are your views? There was a simple answer to this, that this tariff has been levied against India because we are importing Russian oil. But I consider it discriminatory because many other countries are importing Russian oil. And this tariff has not been imposed against them, like China, European Union, and to some extent US itself. That's enough. That would have been sufficient. Now, if you see your own answer, you will get the recording. You will see it's a long answer going into, more than a minute. So I would suggest that if you can structure your answer in a power sentence, 4 or 5 sentences would be good enough to answer the question. Sometimes I feel that you provide the information fully, but in slightly longest way.
Okay, sir.
So that would make a tremendous difference if you can, because your knowledge is good, you can articulate well, your communication abilities are good, your qualifications speak for themselves. But this is what I thought is missing. Everything else was fine. Even on the question on your name, you could have simply said that my father felt that we should avoid the caste display in the name, and therefore he put my name as Tanmay. That's it.
Okay, sir.
End of it. You don't have to go here and there anywhere else. If the board wants to know more, they will ask you more. Like he asked you that if there are two, first and second name has to be filled in, what do you do? So you said, okay, I fill up Tanmay again.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So if it is possible to remain, to keep your answer within a few sentences, but power sentences which convey the crux of the answer, then it would be a very good interview. Because your knowledge base is good. Like
sir, I would
asked you about the crude,
work on that. Yes,
I asked you about the crude of Venezuela. Now, you gave a very good answer to this. So some of the answers were absolutely fine. Most of the answers, in fact, why some? Okay, cricket, you gave a good answer. But if you can make them, more concise and better structure, I think you would do much better. Then you can cross 200.
Okay, sir, I
And
will
that's
work on
what I
this.
feel you should aim for.
Yes, sir, definitely.
Okay. And follow the current events. When is your interview?
21st January.
Oh, so it's not far, but follow the current events very carefully now, because a lot of things are happening in international area as well. The situation in Venezuela, in Iran, in Bangladesh, in there are a lot of internal issues as well, and also the politics of Bihar. The recent elections, prohibition policy. Patna, you gave a very good answer to that. Something about Nalanda. Nalanda has also been in news recently. So I think that would be very good. Something on chemical engineering they might ask you, because you worked in ONGC for 2-3 years. So they might ask about, our, what you say, oil refining industry, how it is operating, or oil exploration in different parts of the country. Okay. I think that will suffice. That will give a good grounding. But the only important point which I felt is that one is structuring your answer better. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Praveenji?
Tanmay, I think everything was fine. Apart from that, you should now, because we didn't ask any much questions on the tax issues, because that will be coming since you are in direct tax. And it won't be limited to direct tax. Someone can wear to GST also.
Yes,
GST issues are that is very popular to ask. So someone may ask on GST and other issues also. Focus on that, and then petroleum pricing, etc. They may obviously doing BPCL also, not only ONGC. So petroleum pricing and why the people are not benefiting because of reduced price from Russia and all that. Those answers should be. We are getting cheaper thing, but people are paying the same pricing structure, and why all those things. And go through your DAF, each word in the DAF, frame 5 questions and I'll try to answer that mentally. I mean, that should do.
Okay, sir.
Best wishes.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Tanmay, adding to them, see, that's what I purposefully asked that question critically to make you to aware that, see, when you are answering in initially and when you are answering your final answer, you need to correlate the both
They
and
can.
try to stand in your single stand. So you would have started like this. See, per se, personally, I feel that I am not interested to use that privilege. As I already told, I am not using the caste name also, but technically speaking, it is also not allowed. So, like that, you would have answered. See, that is my thing, my opinion on that. See,
Yes, sir.
otherwise, the lengthy answer you would have you can work on. And as adding on to that, ED also can be the question. PMLA, all these stuffs also you brush up and you be prepared. So, otherwise, yeah, it's really a very good interview. I can say all the very best.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Thank you, sir.
Tanmay, so
Thank
good
you.
luck to you.
Thank you. All the
Yes,
best.
sir. Thank you. Thank you.